welcome and thanks for watching this product focus series brought to you by Keystroke. This is the initial training module for Project Kickstart, the fast, easy way to manage your projects. There will be 5 tutorials in this series. This initial tutorial explains how to use Project Kickstart and introduces its 6 easy steps to create a good task list. It's important to begin a project plan with a comprehensive task list, as this will reduce the risk of underestimating the project's time and resource requirements. So start the program by clicking on the desktop icon. Once the program is activated, this screen appears asking if the user wants to open a project, that is to work on a previous developed plan, or to start a new project. Since we are new to Project Kickstart, we're going to start a new project. Every project starts with a name, which is how Project Kickstart begins. So here on the Name Your Project screen, we'll need a sample plan. So we're going to create the plan for developing these tutorials. We will name our plan Project Kickstart Online Tutorials. Now let's take a closer look at this page because its layout is virtually identical to every other page of the Project Kickstart Planning Wizard. Now, as expected, there are menus and a standard toolbar in the upper left-hand part of the screen, and they work like those in most application programs. But they're not used very much in the Planning Wizard. Instead, users rely on the on-screen instructions that are at the top of every page. The Name Your Project page's instructions tells us every project has a name. So to start your project, give it a short, descriptive name. After naming the project, clicking on the Next button will move us to the next step. In other steps, a back button is present to allow the user to go back a step, but we don't see that here because there's no step in the Project Kickstart before naming the project. Before moving on, however, let's look at where the Planning Wizard will be taking us by looking at the Steps bar here on the left-hand side of the screen. We'll look at the next 5 steps, which along with the Name Your Project screen are all the steps in the Planning Wizard. Here in Phases, major groupings of tasks known as project phases can be identified, and then tasks can be assigned with each phase. Here in Goals, users can identify their project goals and objectives, and then develop any new tasks that are needed to meet the project's goals. Next, in Similar Projects, users can access previously planned projects to find tasks applicable to the project currently being planned. In People, the planner can name members of the project team and stakeholders, then identify any new tasks that are related to each individual's responsibilities. In Obstacles, users can identify potential project risks and then develop new tasks to reduce those risks. For now, though, we've moved through Project Kickstart by using the Steps icon. We need to return to the Name screen where we left off. But we're over here in Obstacles, 5 steps away from the Name Your Project step. All that we need to do to return to the Name step is click on the Name icon, and we're back. Let's look at one other Project Kickstart feature, the Advisor, which can be found on every page. At one level, the Advisor works as a help screen. Though Project Kickstart's Planning Wizard is organized into such easy steps that help doesn't really need to say more about them than it's already been said at the top of each step's page. The main advantage of the Advisor is the handy tips it contains. Help can tell you what to do, but the tips provide best practices on how to do it. So let's take a look at the Advisor's advice about naming your project. The first tip, you can enter up to 58 characters and more than one, is to remind the user not to enter an encyclopedic project name. We could have called our project the Project Kickstart Online Tutorials that can also be published on a CD or DVD and eventually be translated into other languages project. but there's really little to be gained from such a long-winded title. The next two tips: use short descriptive project names such as company website, and avoid big project names such as database project or CDP7. Encourage planners to be as clear and concise in their project names as possible. Overly brief project names can be as confusing as overly long ones. Next is a style tip. Enter your project title using uppercase letters if you want the title to stand out in reports. And last is a tip that can save a considerable amount of planning time. It says that one way to reuse your projects is to open an existing project and then change its name in the name step. After saving the project with a different name, you can then modify details to customize the project. This, as we will see later, means the Project Kickstart can be used to build time-saving planning templates for tasks that are typical from project to project. Now let's review. So we have seen how to name a project, the ease of using Project Kickstarter, and an overview of the Planning Wizard. The next step is the subject of the next tutorial, which will demonstrate how to use phases, goals, similar projects, people, and obstacles to brainstorm a task for any project.